Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are every day. People like to welcome you all to the show. Today, we're dealing with the Bryan Kohberger case. He's the one that has been arrested for killing 4 Moscow, Idaho students. I just want to, you know how we do it on Verbal Pick Radio, but I just want to give you all to show you how crazy this case is, right? Now, this guy, Bryan Kohberger, from the Daily Mail, supposedly has threatened guards at the jail he's at. He told them, if you come in here, I'll cut you, and you guys are afraid to come in his cell, right? Painting a picture that he is off his rocker. He's somehow lost it. Now, let me show you this. Let me get to it. Because this is wild. Okay, here we go. Okay. Well, we're going to get into the whole deal. The whole, you know what? We're going to start here, though. And we're just going to do the whole article, right? Because what he's doing is, that's what he's doing. He's challenging the justice system. He's a student of criminal justice. Now, they found him 2,500 miles from the crime scene where he was arrested. They used DNA genealogy tests, meaning there was unidentified DNA at the crime scene. They ran through a genealogy database, and supposedly they secretly gathered Bryan Kohberger's DNA, matched it, and that's how they got arrested. Now, they're saying the problem with that is that they didn't get a swab from his mouth or his fingerprints on the glass or anything of that nature to tie him to the crime scene, that the method that they use wouldn't stand up in court. If that's so, that means he already knows this. Remember, he's a criminal justice major. The American people are getting ready to learn more about the judicial system than probably they would care to know. He methodically, I believe, in my opinion, planned this so he could go on trial, so he could challenge the justice system. And in his mind, he feels he will win because he feels as though the Moscow, Idaho Police Department is incompetent. He can get away with murdering 4 students, right? Go through the process. He can't wait for his day in court because he feels like he's going to eat alive the Moscow, Idaho Police Department. But look, this is where it gets weird, though. Check this out, all right? Cipollina, she was in jail with Kohberger in Monroe County Jail in Pennsylvania. She said she could see his upper body clearly through the glass, although his lower body was hidden from her. He was wearing a regular orange prison jumpsuit and not the anti-suicide turtle suit he had on when his mugshot was taken on Friday, right? At first, she said he didn't realize who he was. She said at first she didn't realize who he was, but then heard jail employees discussing him, and another inmate told her that's the guy who killed those college students, right? Now, why am I reading this? Because she will be brought in to testify her account of her encounter with Bryan Kohberger, or what she seen with her own eyes, right? She described him as tall, skinny, and young-looking. She said he repeatedly lifted his shirt, and she heard the guard tell him several times to put his pants back on. She believed he was trying to expose himself to her. Now, this is her testimony. I couldn't see his genitals because the glass wall only went down so far, she said. Cipollina, who lives in Garnerville, New York, was arrested shortly after 3 a.m. on New Year's Day in a hotel in Paradise Township, Pennsylvania, after getting in a fight with her boyfriend, right? Because she was booked in the Monroe County Jail at 6:20 and released at 12:11 p.m. the same day. She said being in jail for nearly 6 hours over New Year's was a miserable experience, but it was made far worse by Kohberger's constant ranting. And she goes on. At one point, he yelled out, "Fuck my enemies and foes," a line from Lil Wayne's Multiple Flows. He also sang violent and misogynistic lyrics from Bad Bunny songs, she said. Oh, my God. Yeah, you get ready for this trial. Okay, now, he's tried with killing childhood friends Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Morgan, both 21. Their roommate, Zana Cernuto, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, both 20. All four died in their beds at their home in Moscow, Idaho, in the early hours of November 13th in a killing so brutal, police described the scene to DailyMail.com as the worst we have ever seen. A Rambo-style knife was used to carry out the murders, police said. At the 6-bedroom rental property where 3 of the victims lives, the murders, the first in Moscow since 2015, left a small town of 25,000 people in a state of shock and the police desperately searching for answers. Kohberger has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 of felony burglary, Prosecutor Bill Thompson said. Idaho is a death penalty state. He is due to be back in court in Pennsylvania on Tuesday. Kohberger's arrest was the culmination of an investigation that had dragged on for nearly 7 weeks and had left the Moscow Police Department facing a barrage of criticism. Cops had been criticized for describing the murders as targeted while refusing to release any information to explain why. Once again, you have a criminal justice major, right, who wants to test his brain power, his knowledge, up against the Moscow, Idaho Police Department. Right. Sources say that authorities knew who they were looking for and hunted the suspect down to Pennsylvania and the Pocono Mountains, more than 2,400 miles from Idaho. News Nation reported that Kohberger had a quiet, blank stare when arrested by local cops and the FBI on Friday morning, which he keeps that. Most of his pictures, he has this blank stare, this deep look, but methodical look, like I know what I'm doing, right? Get ready for the show, right? Kohberger is a PhD college student at Washington State University within the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, and did not attend the University of Idaho. It has not been revealed whether he knew any of the students he allegedly killed. He graduated from DeSales University in Pennsylvania in May 22 with a Master's of Arts in Criminal Justice. So he has a Master of Arts in Criminal Justice, right? What does that tell you? Whether he knew his victims or a random attack, or saw one of the victims at the that night at one of the food trucks and followed him home. He believes that he's so intelligent and the system is so flawed that he can get away with murdering 4 students and basically get himself off. Like feel like he's 10 steps ahead of the police department. There would be books and movies about this case. It would be one of the most watched trial cases, probably than O.J. Simpson, which I don't know. But the reason why I'm saying that is because it seems as you have a person who did this just to say, hey, I can get away with murder, as if he was watching that hit show on ABC, How to Get Away with Murder. He wanted art to imitate life. Meaning he wanted to be the one to get away with murder in the public eye and not from a movie script. As part of his research, Kohberger posted an appeal for help on social media with his research, which was looking at how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. His sister, Melissa, is a mental health nurse in New Jersey specializing in trauma and emotion regulation. Cops have raided both Kohberger's apartment in Pullman, Washington, just 15 minutes from the murder scene, and his office in the university. I mean, this is a shitstorm. I mean, every high-ranking official who had contact with this guy is shaking in their boots right now. I mean, they are doing damage control up and down the board. Bill Thompson, the Latau County prosecutor, was seen outside the apartment alongside investigators, gearing up with protective booties before heading inside. Law enforcement sources told CNN that Kohberger's DNA was discovered at the scene of the crime, with officers managing to track down who owned the white Hyundai Elantra seen in the area of the slayings. Let's go back. So they said his DNA was discovered at the scene of the crime, which we all know that DNA was discovered through a genealogy database that they pulled from the scene, ran it through a genealogy database, and they got a hit to Kohberger. So somebody in there could have been a relative of Kohberger's. Authorities then discovered that he had left the area and traveled to Pennsylvania, where an FBI surveillance team had been tracking the 6-foot-tall man. He was kept under surveillance with the FBI watching him for 4 days, while investigators from Moscow Police and Idaho State Police worked to get an arrest warrant. Kohberger has no prior arrests, according to public records, so it's unclear how officials got hold of his DNA. Well, I told you how they got a hold of his DNA. He got a hold of his DNA. He got a hold of his DNA through a genealogy that DNA that was lifted from the crime scene, ran through an ancestral genealogy database, got a match, and then apparently, oh my God, apparently the police department stated that they lifted that Bryan Kohberger's DNA secretly from, they didn't say what source, from some saliva, from a fingerprints from a glass, from hair from a brush. They didn't say, but they saying that they secretly got his DNA and matched it with the DNA that they got from ancestral genealogy database. Bryan Kohberger is sitting there like, wow. His lawyer stated that he is eager to go to trial, meaning he can't wait to get inside of that courtroom. Now, what ramifications or what barriers or what situation will that courtroom prepare or not allow him to do? That's in the ramifications of the court of law. Because everybody's on their P's and Q's now. You have a PhD who have a master's in arts and criminology, who in his mind is brilliant, and that's how he's portraying himself, as though you can't touch me, right? Now, the 50-year-old lady who got arrested and who was at the same jailhouse as Bryan Kohberger said that he was trying to expose himself to her. He was singing violent rap lyrics, listening to Lil Wayne. Stop. And also some lyrics from a Bad Bunny song. But wait, come on. This is almost like when the guy who killed a Texas state trooper and told them that he was listening to Tupac, and that's what made him do it. Tying rap music or gangster rap music to a violent crime. Meaning, come on, some kind of way, black people can't stay out of it. You got to tie, like him listening to rap corrupted his mind, and that is what made him go off. Come on, please stop it. Come on, really? This is now if that's even true, right? If that's even true, you trying to tell me that a criminal justice major don't have the gift of critical thinking? If that's the case, then what you're saying is what is being taught to the future leaders of America is not strong rap lyrics. Come on, really? Anybody buy that? It's just strange. See the narrative. But that's why when you're a journalist, and I want to say this to all journalists, right? As a journalist, your job is the truth. That's all. That's your job. Your job as a journalist is finding out the truth. It's not emotional. It's not personal. It's not trying to sway one way or sway the other way. No. Because journalism keeps every system honest, and it protects the public when it's done right. And so, with that being said, you can't you can't use your platform to persuade towards your beliefs and opinions. So when you go and investigate and you go and you dig, you're almost like a detective in a sense. And then you put out the information that you've gathered into the public eye. And then you let the people decide, right? You're just reporting what happened. So that way, that's why I say don't blame the messenger. I'm just reporting what's readily for the public to know. That's put out there, you know. That's what it's about. Now, do I have an opinion? Yes, and I'll say, well, this is my opinion, because this is my opinion. This guy cannot wait to go to court. He's ready to put on a show like none other. Now, with this show is going to come a lot of things that they want to attach to the show. They already started with violent rap lyrics, right? They started with not mind manipulation, but studying the emotions of human beings on how they react towards certain situations. Now, human beings will react emotionally to news, sad news. They have an emotional response. Actual visualization of something horrific or something that's joyful. There's an emotional response, right? To someone lying to you. Someone's cheating on you. Someone stole from you. Each has an emotional response. And that emotional response is not the same towards every incident, right? Meaning that he can sit and look at the reaction of a witness that's called against him and tell by their response to the questioning which way they're thinking. This trial is going to be something else, I'm telling you. Now, to the parents of the 4 that was killed. I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe that they should be at the trial, but in a different part, you know, where just family and they can view it on a monitor or screen, right? You don't want to be in there, my opinion, you don't want to be in there when he gets to going off, because he's going to try to draw some emotion out of one of the family members, right? I mean, he's getting ready to put on the show. And it is telling of where we're at as society in this year 2023, right? Where we at as a society. I mean, although it said that there's nothing new under the sun, true. But wow, man, some of the things that we've seen lately is like, what's going on? Never imagine there's something new that tops this. I mean, a man on New Year's Eve coming after police with a machete. What the hell is going on? And it's not just one particular race that's doing the crime. It's all races, creeds, religion, colors, just going crazy. I don't know, but we'll see. But before we get out of here, I want you all to check out my latest movie, Black's Journey, Peace to Chaos. You can view it on grindcity.biz, which is also based out of Pennsylvania. Right? Check that out. And it's coming to more platforms. Tell your friends about Spreaker, about Verbal Pick Radio. We do it a little different here, right? And the reason being is because we respect all social classes. We respect all economic levels. Don't matter if you got $1 in your pocket or 100 million in your pocket, right? News is still news. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. This Bryan Kohberger case is the killing of these 4 innocents. When they get down to it, and did he have a connection with any of them, and how did his DNA get there? And and whose DNA was there that they traced to him? Was it a cousin of his, or was one of them his cousins, long distant relatives? What? Right? Oh man, it's gonna be a doozy, right? But you all stay tuned to Verbal Pick Radio. We keep bringing you news, right? Information, right? Unbiased, because I'm having no handlers. We're not controlled. Verbal Pick Radio. We're out.